If you've spent any time comparing large format printers, you know how quickly the options can spiral out of control. There's always one more spec to weigh, one more feature that seems like it should matter, and suddenly you're staring at a wall of choices that all sound great on paper but leave you wondering which one will actually fit the way you work. I ran into that exact problem when I was looking for a 36-inch printer that could handle both posters and technical drawings without turning into a second job to set up and maintain. After digging through the details and talking to people who've actually used the Canon imagePROGRAF TM340, I think I can help you cut through the noise. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. This printer isn't trying to be everything to everyone, and that's part of what makes it worth considering. It's built around a 5-color pigment ink system that gives you crisp text, sharp lines, and colors that hold up over time, something you really notice when you're printing something that needs to look professional for years. The ink setup is straightforward too. You get 300 milliliters total, with the black and matte black cartridges holding more than the others, which is a nice touch if you're printing a lot of black and white documents or line drawings. That balance means you're not constantly swapping out cartridges just to keep things running. Where this printer really shines is in the day-to-day grind of printing large jobs. The automatic media detection means you don't have to manually adjust settings every time you switch between paper types or sizes. Just load the roll, hit print, and it figures out the rest. That might not sound like a big deal until you've spent hours troubleshooting a print that came out wrong because the printer assumed the wrong paper setting. The automatic color calibration is another lifesaver if you care about consistency. If you're printing marketing materials, architectural plans, or event signage, having colors that match from one run to the next saves you from reprints and headaches. Now, let's talk about the trade-offs. This printer is big, and it's not subtle. If you're working in a small office or a shared workspace, the footprint might be a deal-breaker. The included stand helps, but it's still a sizable piece of equipment that's going to take up real estate. Also, while the wireless connectivity is convenient, I've heard from users that the setup can be finicky depending on your network. If your Wi-Fi isn't rock solid, you might find yourself defaulting to a wired connection anyway. That's not a deal-breaker, but it's worth factoring in if you're not tech-savvy or if your workspace isn't set up for stable connections. Who should buy this printer? If you're a small design studio, an architect, or a small business that regularly prints large format materials, posters, banners, technical drawings, or marketing collateral, this printer is built to handle those jobs without making you jump through hoops. It's also a solid choice if you're tired of dealing with printers that require constant tweaking or calibration. The automatic features here are genuinely helpful, not just marketing fluff. On the other hand, if you're only printing large format occasionally or you're working with a tight budget, this might not be the right fit. The upfront cost is higher than your average office printer, and the ink isn't cheap. You'll want to make sure you have enough volume to justify the investment. One thing I appreciate about this model is that Canon isn't hiding the maintenance behind a paywall. The printer ships with a good amount of ink to get you started, and the setup process is designed to be as painless as possible. That's important because large format printers can be notoriously fussy to get running. The fact that it includes a catch basket for waste ink is a small but thoughtful detail. It means you're not constantly cleaning up drips or dealing with messy spills. At the end of the day, the Canon imagePROGRAF TM340 is a printer that earns its keep by being reliable and low maintenance. It's not the flashiest option out there, but it's the kind of printer that disappears into the background of your workflow, which is exactly what you want when you're trying to get work done. If you've been on the fence because you're worried about setup headaches or inconsistent results, this one's worth a closer look. Check it out on Amazon using the link in the description, and see if it fits the way you work.